happens in classes, online digital lessons with HD quality transmissions, subject experts and experienced faculty. Unlike other app, we have our own teachers for assuring 100% quality education. If you too want our quality teachings are at your premises and institutions, not only SSC, but other various courses are in easy method covering state syllabus. We successfully taught at pre-examination period to government SSC students in COVID pandemic. We made grand success our online teachings at private colleges also. Why are you waiting? Just dial for online admissions. Rush and join in ABC Education Learning app.
Hi, good evening everyone. This is K. Parvatisham. I have an experience of 10 years in teaching physical science. You're watching ABC Education and Learning app. Join with me to obtain more and clearer knowledge. Now, in the previous classes, we have been discussing about a light, reflection and its properties along with the images and the types of rays. So, here the most important heart and soul of a first chapter, is nothing but called as a ray diagram. Let us understand about a ray diagram. Remember this one? Ray diagrams are important 4 marks question. You may be asked for important 4 marks question. So, you are going to have a concept over this. So, I'll just give you an example. I'll be narrating a story to some person, okay, that person will come here, that person will talk here, like that. Every person is famous in narrating some stories to others. So, naturally, if you want to present the stories on the board or on the paper, roughly we take this symbol. Let us suppose a man. He is not a man, but in order to narrate a story effectively, we take this rough figure as a human being. Let us take a home. It is not a home. Even it is also a rough figure for indicating that this is a house. Like that, what about this one? We are able to expect many examples like rough diagrams for indicating something. In order to know the properties, in order to get the clarity on the what about topic to the listener. Who will be the listener on the person to get a more impression, to get a more clarity, automatically such type of ray diagrams will be drawn. So what about, a ray diagram is also nothing but the diagram drawn, the rough diagram drawn for knowing the properties of an image. Of course, we draw ray diagrams using a mirror. Mirror produces image. What type of image? Image has certain characteristics. Such type of characteristics, what type of characteristics are obtained? Those can be predicted, that is by ray diagrams. So, ray diagrams are nothing but the rough diagrams which are used to establish the properties of an image. They are establishing the properties, predicting the properties, making a clarity, giving a suitable suggestion about properties of an image. So, let us first understand what are the general properties of image. Roughly, we can also term these properties as a characteristics also. We can also term this term as a characteristics also. Do not get confusion, my dear friends. This is the properties, this is the characteristics. In the ray diagram, we use both the words simultaneously, no need of any confusion. So what are the characteristics? Listen, first one, automatically, as we discussed in the previous classes, first one characteristic specifies about a size of an image. Whereas, of course, the second property is naturally locating what about its position. And while coming to a third property, it naturally extracts the nature of image. The nature of the image. Whereas the last final conclusion property is nothing but location. That means where is the image located? Where is the image located? So I just would like to give you a clarity regarding this, my friends. What is this? Regarding size, we have three types of images. I just would like to recall in a couple of minutes. What are they? The first one is nothing but enlarged. And the second one is nothing but equal size. And the last diagram is nothing but diminished. It is diminished. Therefore, there are three types of images based on the size. So, what about a position? Based on position, it is nothing but either erect or inverted. Erect or inverted. That stands for what? Only two types of images. And while coming to a nature, we have a real or virtual. That means we have two types of images here. So while drawing a characteristics, each of the heading we have to consider one characteristics. You keep this in mind. Because this is an important 4 marks question, I would like to detailedly give how to give the presentation also. And finally, this is nothing but a location. What is a location here? The location may be at the pole, nearer to the pole, far away from the pole, between the two fixed points, beyond two fixed points, whatever that may be. Roughly 5 to 6 locations may be here. So out of them, by seeing a diagram, you have to identify, you have to grab the position or location of the image. Thus, what is this? A ray diagram is a rough diagram or a diagram which is useful for prediction of properties of an image or characteristics of an image. And of course, what about this? Ray diagrams definitely includes 4 characteristics. You have to note these 4 are the characteristics. The first one is called as size, second one is called as position, and third one is nature, and the last one is location. My dear friends, let us go on for the long question, that is 4 marks question using the ray diagrams. Of course, here in the ray diagrams, we have 5 cases in your textbook. But we, for the sake of benefit of students, we are providing 6 cases. We are providing 6 cases. That is, other than the textbook, we are providing one more additional case for your extra knowledge. So, based on the preference of importance of a topic, we would like to go on for the ray diagram. So, let us go for the first case. So, my dear friends, so what we would like to do, this is a 4 marks important question which we are going to read. So, let me give you a small time for what about revising or recalling or presenting what you know on the paper. So, let us take, if suppose this is an answer paper or this is support your paper, your notebook paper, let us suppose. Then automatically this will be your left margin worth of a scale. Do not be miser in this session because this is important. Whereas, what about in the leftover the portion? How to draw a ray diagram? We have 3 parts. We have three parts. The first part is called as apt heading. My dear friends, in this concept, we would like to know very peacefully, because heading should be placed in detail, not like a shortcut. Not like a shortcut. So, while writing the ray diagram, you understand. First part is nothing but a clearer and neat full heading without any shortcut. While coming to next, let us suppose the heading has gone for 1 or 2 lines. Then you are going to draw a ray diagram. What comes for a ray diagram? Naturally, the ray diagram, many have a habit of drawing a diagrams like this and writing a matter here. This is wrong, my dear friends, because it looks ugly. You cannot expect a clear image. You cannot get the grab the attention of an evaluator. So, what are we going to do? You people must avoid this. You shouldn't write like this. You have to occupy 25 to 30%. If possible, you can occupy half page. If possible, you can occupy the half page for the ray diagram. If necessary, or if it is not possible, you can occupy 25 to 30% of a page, and the diagram should be drawn in the middle. And the diagram should be drawn in the middle, excluding some gap on the both sides. At the same time, you people must mention points regarding the diagram. 1 or 2 lines regarding a diagram, what is happening, what happens, which intersect, such type of points you have to intersect. This is nothing but context. This is a context, and this comes for ray diagram. And final session of an answer is nothing but you have to write characteristics 1, 2, 3, 4 with the reason. So, this is a 4th session. Characteristics with reason. So, my dear friends, first suppose, let me take an example. We are going to construct a home. So, first of all, we plan. Okay, this is my room. We psychologically think of ourselves. And then we arrange everything. We think how to arrange, and then we implement it, and then finally goes for, okay, is the room well enough? Okay, there I have to change. Finally, evaluation. So, in such a manner, even here also, you are able to expect the 4 marks very important question, so that it is divided into 4 parts. Out of these 4 parts, you shouldn't miss any kind of a part. What is this? The first one is called as heading. A proper heading must and should be there. Whereas second one, a ray diagram must be mentioned, not left side, not right side. It's in the center. Do not negotiate the passage here. And while coming to explanation of the diagram in 2 to 3 sentences, this part is called as context. While coming to a last, you are going to write characteristics with reasons. What are the characteristics? Just before we have dealt. What about size? What about position, nature, and location? With reason, we must mention. So, remember this, my dear friends. We are going to implement 1, 2, 3, 4 principle in our ray diagrams. Now, so let us understand case 1. That's the first diagram. So, my dear friends, let us go for a proper diagram. How to make a heading? Your first part is nothing but heading. Case 1. What is a case 1? Here, a proper heading must be mentioned. Ray diagram drawn when object is placed on C. C stands for center of curvature, and this comes for your heading. And of course, you can also modify the heading as when object is placed on C. You can write one sentence, or you can write in detail ray diagram drawn when object is placed on C. But never write the shortcut heading like case 1 on C, case 1 object on C. It's not the correct manner of a presentation. By seeing that type of shortcut heading, the evaluator who correct the paper will get an impression that this person is a lazy person. He is not able to write a heading also in clear. Such type of a negative impression is going to carried in the mind of evaluator. Such way, so you need to mention when object is placed on C, or ray diagram drawn when object is placed on C. Such type of clarity must be maintained. Part 1 is completed. Let us go on for part 2. What is a part 2? That is the diagram. I just said 25 to 30% or half of the page. Here I am able to draw the ray diagram here. Let us take, this is nothing but what? It is a ray diagram, and of course I am able to take pole, focus, center of curvature, and of course this comes for your principal axis. So this is a rough diagram. Already we have seen this concept number of times. So now, where is the object? The object is placed on C. On C, that is on the center of curvature, object is placed. Let us take it as O dash. Here O dash is nothing but a object. Now, dear friends, we already came to know about 4 rays. What are the rays? Number 1, it is nothing but parallel ray. Number 2, it is nothing but anti-parallel ray. Anti-parallel ray. While coming to a third, it is nothing but towards pole. And the fourth one, it is nothing but on center of curvature. Such a type of 4 rays are considered. And remember, my dear friends, in order to draw a ray diagram, any 2 rays must be considered. Any 2 rays must be considered out of 4 type of rays. Let us suppose, for my convenience, for the first, I am taking first ray, that is parallel ray. Let me demarcate here. Let me take this ray is nothing but called first ray. This is called as parallel ray. And what happens to the parallel ray according to the rules of ray diagram, which we discussed in the previous classes? A parallel ray in a concave mirror travels in such a way that it should pass through the focus. In anti-parallel manner. So this is a concept which we discussed in the last classes. So what about a parallel ray from the object has turned itself into an anti-parallel ray passing through the focus. This is first ray. But my dear friends, only one ray is not enough for writing, for drawing what? A ray diagram. How many rays are required? 2 rays are required. Therefore, these are the other type of rays. Anti-parallel, passing through its pole, and at the same time on C. Any one type of ray you can consider here. Therefore, what I am going to consider, let me take an anti-parallel ray. This is second type of ray. So what is going to happen according to the rules of ray diagram? What is going to happen? An anti-parallel ray which has emerged onto the concave mirror should pass parallel to the principal axis. So what is going to happen? Automatically, what is this? Just a small thing, Amma. Because we are not able to obtain here the scrolling session. So what is going to happen? This ray is going to meet at this point as a parallel ray. Let us extend this one. If you go beyond this point, you may not be able to see the object due to scrolling. Because of that, I erase that and written in the separate manner. So what about this one? Here, if we are able to take this is the point where the 2 rays have been merged. The 2 rays have been intersected, or union of 2 rays occurred. Thus, here we are able to expect an image. Thus, here we are able to expect an image. We are able to expect an image, my dear friends. So, a ray diagram is also completed. Part 1, Part 2. So, what is the third part? It's a context. How to mention the context? Regarding a ray diagram, we have to mention it. What about here? An object is placed on C, point number 1. Listen my words, because I am going to present you how to write the answer on a paper during your annual or any type of examination. So what about an object is placed on C, point number 1. There are 2 types of rays emerged from the object. Number 1, parallel ray passing parallel to the principal axis passes through the focus in an anti-parallel manner. This is second point. Third point, anti-parallel ray which is passing through the principal axis, which is passing through the focus, has emerged as a parallel ray to the principal axis. It is fourth point. So what happens as a result of that? You have given the context of the diagram. Third part is also completed. What is the context? Regarding a diagram, few introduction part. What is happening in the diagram? Explaining in a brief. Then you come across the characteristics. Let us erase this part. So let us come across the characteristics. So as per the characteristics, we have size, position, nature, and location. So this is the fourth and final part of the session. This is nothing but what we are going to identify each and every part from the diagram, place on the reason. That is, what about size? You see, observe the sizes of OO dash, II dash. Object and a image. They roughly look equal. They roughly look equal. Therefore, size of object is equal to size of image. Size of image. That means we are able to get equal sized. You have to write the reason, you have to mention the equal size. Therefore, equal. And while coming to second is a position. Remember, my dear friends, position related to principal axis. If the image is above the principal axis, position is erect. If image is below the principal axis, position is inverted. Where is the image? Image is below the principal axis. Lies below axis. Therefore, inverted. Underline. You have to underline the keywords, my dear friends, because those are the things which evaluator definitely sees. That goes into the eyesight of an evaluator. And while coming to your nature, it is formed by the intersection. The image is formed by the intersection of rays. Therefore, it is real image. Therefore, it is real image. And the final thing is about location, my dear friends. Just it is looking like 9, so I am erasing it and I am writing it as A. So what about this one? The location is nothing but it is object is placed on C and even image is also resulted on C itself. Therefore, location is on center of curvature. Location is on a center of curvature. These are the 4 points. So, is my principle, that is 4-point principle, executed here? What are 4? Point number 1, a clear ray diagram. You can mention ray diagram drawn when object is placed on center of curvature C. If not, when object is placed on C. But my dear friends, do not get shortcuts like object at C, on C. Don't write such type of shortcuts. While coming to our next, a neat ray diagram with what about 25 to 30% of a occupancy of a paper, or if necessary, if possible, you can use 50% of a paper also. Then you have to give the context of the diagram. That means here, where is an object? Point number 1. What type of rays are going to have? Point number 2. Third, what is happening according to rules of ray diagram? This is context given. Finally, you have to keep characteristics, the heading, and size, position, nature, location. As per this 4, we are going to write with the reason, my dear friends. With the reason. What is the reason? What type of image? And that must be mentioned in a underline. And first case itself, I have dealt this one because this is a 4 marks important question. My dear friends, it is a 4 marks important question. Because of that reason, I just started the ray diagrams with this itself. So, never hesitate to learn such type of ray diagrams. Okay, we go on for the second case. Even the second case is also a 4 marks question. Case 1, case 2 are combinedly asked for 4 marks question. Let us understand that concept also. So, case number 2. We are going on to the case number 2. What is the case number 2? Ray diagram drawn when object is placed beyond the center of curvature. Beyond. Beyond center of curvature. That means what is a beyond? Beyond in the sense away from the center of curvature. This is the second case, and of course even it can be also asked for 4 marks. So I am discussing this case as second case. And remember my dear friends, here I wish to draw a rough diagram. My dear friends, we are moving on to the concept here. This is nothing but object is placed beyond C. What is this? This is nothing but focus. Let us take a focus here. This is nothing but, let us take a center of curvature here. Whereas what is going to happen? Object is placed here, away from the C, that is after C. What is happening here? What is happening here? So here also I have placed a part 1, that is a clearer diagram. Part 2, a rough ray diagram. Now I need to take the rays. Already we know that out of 4 rays, any type of ray you may consider. You may consider. What type of rays would you like to consider? Let me take very first one is nothing but normally parallel ray. I am able to consider parallel ray. Of course, the parallel ray counts for a first case or first number of ray. So what about a parallel ray? Automatically when hit the mirror, it is going to emerge into the focus in the form of anti-parallel nature. In the form of a anti-parallel nature. Then what is happening here? I am able to take the second ray. Second ray is a very familiar thing. That is nothing but we are able to extend the anti-parallel ray. This comes for which is passing through the focus. This is the second type of a ray naturally. So what is going to happen here? According to the rules of ray diagram, a ray which is anti-parallel passing through the focus, naturally it is going to travel in a parallel manner. This is as per the rules of ray diagrams. So what about here? I have considered 2 types of rays. The first one is nothing but parallel ray. I have considered parallel ray, and I have considered second one. This is called as anti-parallel ray. So what is going to happen? Here a small logic is going to, the intersection is going to be exhibited. Intersection is going to be exhibited. Therefore, what is going to happen here? We are able to expect image in this point. Let us suppose here there is an image. This is suppose an image. Now Second part is also completed. Then what should I do? I need to go on for the context. What is the context here? This is a ray diagram. Point number 1. When an object is placed beyond C, what is going to happen? We are able to take two types of rays emerging from it. Second point. The first ray, parallel ray, passing through the focus, immediately attains anti-parallel nature. Third point. The anti-parallel ray, which is passing through the focus, attains a parallel nature. This is third point. And coming to fourth point, what happens? The two rays, the reflected two rays, unite, intersect, make merged, any type of word you can use, no problem. But intersection is a most common word, so you may use any type of word also. What about the reflected rays intersect and forms an image? That is fourth point. So context of the diagram is also completed. 4 points. Last part of this one is nothing but characteristics. Now let us understand the 4 headings by seeing the diagram. Number 1, it is size. So once you compare this one, the height of object is bigger, height of image is smaller, because at this point the rays have been formed smaller, nearer to the mirror. This is away from the mirror. This you are going to see. If a mirror is exposed nearer to the image will be shorter. If image is exhibiting far away from the mirror, image will be larger. This is a point you need to mention. So don't forget to remember that point. See here what is going to happen? Size of object is greater than size of image. Therefore, my dear friends, what type of image it is resulting? Object is greater, image is lesser. Therefore, it is diminished. It is nothing but a diminished type of a image. While coming to second is nothing but, remember, it is position. So what comes here for the position? The position is nothing but image is lying below the principal axis. For the sake of your convenience, I am able to take object with a black pen, image and rays with the blue pen, so that you may understand it somewhat better. What happens this one? This is below the principal axis. Below the principal axis. Therefore, it is inverted. We need to underline these words because those focus the most. Whereas the third type of property is nothing but a nature. Of course, automatically you can say that the nature has been formed by intersection. Therefore, it is a real one, real image. And last, finally, where is the location? The image is located in between two fixed points, that is in between F and C. The image location is in between the two fixed points called as F and C. This is a most important 4 marks question along with the previous case. So, if you would like to know about the next 3 cases, don't go away. We will be discussing in such a detailed manner along with some extra cases which are not present in the textbook, only for you, only for the quality education, ABC Education and Learning app. Join with me and obtain quality education. Thank you.